Hi guys, and welcome to this Model Engineers Workshop. Today in the workshop, we've already closed up the front of the cylinder board. Now it's time to close up the rear. So come on, let's go. Hi guys, I'm the chef. Today we're going to make the rear cylinder covers. Slightly more complicated than the front cylinder covers, but I've got the bits here on the workbench, so come on, I'll talk you through it. Righto guys, here we go today. So this is what we made last time. The front cylinder covers, left and right. You can see all the bits in there. Dummy bolts that we have to put in so that we're not drilling holes into other passages where we would cause problems. So let's get those out of the way. Remember these are the bits left over from those when we started that big quadrant of cast iron, and we machined it down to the largest circle we could, so we had plenty of room. Right, so what's the plan of operations today? Right, we're going to put one of these in the 3-jaw, parallels behind it, so we get it raised out. We're then going to turn this face clean, because you can see the hacksaw marks on both of those, where we hacksawed the middles out. Didn't do too bad on that one. Right, going to clean off that face. We're then going to start turning this down. We've got to go to a depth of 12 and get it down to, I believe it's 45 mil. Once we get that bit done, we can then turn this around and hold it by that freshly turned bit. It doesn't matter, we don't need any soft jaws on it, because it's going to get, most of that's going to get machined away again anyway. It's just to form something to hang on to. We're then going to get this thing to width, which is 20 mil. This is about 23 at the moment, 23 once we get the face cleaned off. And we're then going to turn the register. Now, of course, the register, remember this? That register fits, this is the front, of course, so that fits there. So if I turn that over, gently, there we go. We're now at the back. And of course, that fits there as well, because of course, the balls are parallel. They're not tapered or bellied or anything. So we can get the register made, then we turn it back. And we put that register into the split ring we've already made, and we start finishing off the outer dimensions as we go along. But of course, we need to be holding it by the register, because then eventually we're going to be drilling a hole all the way through for the piston rod and a bigger hole for the packing gland that goes in here. And of course, that all needs to be concentric with the register on the back here. So of course, the split ring we made is basically a collet, which is going to be more accurate than the chuck itself, or at least you like to believe so, but we're going to believe it is. Get the register sorted, get the holes in, and then once we get that hole in with the larger, so we've got a small hole going through and a larger hole going almost all the way through, which is for the packing gland. Once we get that done, we're back in the rotary table. This bit, which is 45 and 12, we've then got a lot of machining. We've got to create a flat surface for where the slide bar goes on, and then create the right shape according to the drawings. But we'll take it one step at a time. Let's get this into the 3-jaw, parallels behind it, whip those out once everything's tight and set up, and get this face cleaned off and start getting it turned down to 45 and 12 deep. Easy as. Right. Over there to the lathe. Let's go. Righto guys, here we are, back at the lathe. So of course we're going to set this face up, the machine face that we've machined, into the chuck that way around, but we're going to set it up on parallels. Now, of course, I've got this in one hand, these two parallels in the other, and I then need to tighten the chuck key. So how are we going to do that? I don't think I've ever showed this before, but this is the easy way of doing it. Get your two parallels. I don't know. Yeah, you can probably see. There's the oiler. So avoid the parallels going across that. Hold the two parallels onto one jaw of the chuck, like that, and then using one of these cheapo spring clamps, hold that onto there, making sure the parallels, and guess what? They're now set and ready to go. Put the piece in, find your preferred, that's my number one point for the chuck. Make sure everything's nicely pushed back and on the parallels. Get a little bit of a tighten up. Nothing too serious at the moment. And you see everything's now just holding itself. I use a rubber mallet, a great big chunky rubber mallet. A dead blow would do the same, but just give that a gentle tap to make sure it's seated in. Tighten up number 1. Go to number 2. You'll notice, I think you'll probably see, probably just in the top of the screen there, that you just get a little bit more on each one. Right, now, remove the clamp. The parallels are going to be staying put, give or take, because of course you hammered the piece in, but they do just slide straight out. Easy as that, isn't it? Right, just got to set up the rest of the lathe now, and we'll get this face machined off. All right, guys, give me a minute, back in a tick. Righto, guys, so here we are. Piece in the chuck, like you just saw me do. Tool on the tool post. Machine is set at about 700 RPMs. Pretty good. So we're going to touch off, clean this face up, and then we start getting serious about some dimensions. Right, okay. Let's get the touch off done, and we'll be right. So, yep, power's on. Here we go. That was touch off. Here goes. Engage the power feed. Just going very lightly at the moment, because of course it's a pretty rough surface. All those hacksaw cuts. Going to start taking a bit more off from that central spigot that I had to hacksaw through. There we go. Right, now I'll put on a feed and we'll see how we're going. Put on a cut. About 0.2 of a millimeter, here goes. Right, let's take a look. Still one more cut to go, just a few little scratches. Yeah, that's quite a deep one. Right, guys, I'll get this done and get a couple more bits set up, and I'll bring you back. See you in a bit, guys. Right, guys, so now you can see I've put like we did with the front cylinder covers, put a little dimple in the front, put a scratch mark on, that's at 45mm. Just to give me an idea, I will be measuring as we get down, because we need 45 exactly. Exactly, big word. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch off on this outer area, because you can see there's 2 steps in there. So, and then we need to get all this chunk turned away, all these corners, get that down to 45. So we have a spigot of 45mm. Again, it needs to be 12 deep. So I'm going to go about 11.6 to start off. And when I get it down to 45, we'll make a finishing cut. And so we get a nice go in, take it into the full depth of 12, and then pull out so that we get a nice square shoulder where we need it. Right, so a couple of views of this, nothing too serious. And then I'll get that done and I'll bring you back. But anyway, I don't know why I moved that out. We need to touch off first. All right, guys, here goes. There's touch off. Wind out. Just put on a light cut to start with. Here we go. That was 11.6 millimeters. Put on another cut. Oh, there we go. Lovely. All right, guys, you get the idea. Let me get this down to 45, and I'll bring you back before we do the shoulder. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Righto, guys, so here we go. Got that down to 45.05.1, which is quite close enough. That's pretty warm, actually. It's not too bad, but anyway. Right, now we've got to get down to a 12 mil depth. So I'm at 11.6 at the minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start the lathe up, take the tool in a little bit, pull it out, then I'll start going back in that way, and we'll get it down to 12 mil. It's not got much to go, so it shouldn't take too long. Righto, here goes. That's 11.7. .8. .9. This will make the 12. Just take this nice and slowly, get a good finish. Keeping my eye on the dials so I know when to stop, and there we go. Right, so there we go. I'm just going to run a file over that. I can see some burrs, but I'll do that off camera. I'm going to mark this one up as the left, and this is then, you've got to imagine that the cylinder block is back here. So this is the outer face of this particular piece. Right, I'm going to run a file on that corner. I'll bring you back in a tick when I've done that. And I've got the second one, the right-hand one, up to the same stage. So we'll keep these two going along together. All right, guys, back in a bit. Give me a minute. Righto, guys, here we are. That's the left-hand one back in the chuck. There's the right-hand one. You can see we've got the same sort of step. So those two are now coming along together. Right, what did we do? Well, we flipped it around, pushed it in tight up against the 3 jaws, which I've cleaned beforehand. So now we just need to get 3.8 something, 3.6 mils off it. Get it down to it, this whole side now down to a thickness of 6. No, a thickness of 8. Yeah, we're just over 11. Because the whole thing, when it's finished, has a thickness of 20. So yeah, that's what, 11.555. 11.55. Right, okay. Now, I'm only going to face that off. There's no point in you watching that. So I'll bring you back when I get that down to thickness, and we're about ready to start cutting the next register. All right, see you in a bit, guys. Right, guys, there we go. That's down to 8mm now, so the total thickness is 20. Now we need to form the register so it fits the back of the left cylinder, which I've got just off the side here with me. So get that down to the register size of just under 45 to 1.75 inches in old money. And I'll get that register done, do the same to the right, and when I've got those two done, I'll bring you back and we'll talk about the next stage. Righto, guys, here we go. This is the right hand one now. Done the left hand already, so you can see the registers nicely starting to form. We're very close. I'm just going to take off dust, I suppose, at the moment, and we'll keep trying and till the right hand cylinder goes on, and then we'll make sure that's the right depth of 3mm, and then we'll clean off the shoulder so it's nice and square. Here goes. Right, let's give that a try. See how we're doing. We should be very close. It'll probably want to try to go on. Oh, yes, it's trying. Right, let's go a little bit more. There we go. Right, line back in. Yep. Right, probably find this next one will do it. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's the one. That's it, we're there. Beautiful fit. Right, so let's square off that corner and make sure we're at 3mm depth from this face to the shoulder. That's not going to take too much. Right, so here we go. That's about 2.9. Let's get up to 3, looking at the dials. Just going to lock the saddle down to make sure it doesn't wander on us. And we'll go on the power feed. Get a nice finish. Here goes. Getting close now. Drop the power feed, do that last little bit by hand till we hit the number on the dial. There we go. Wind away, wind it out. Right. It's got a nice finish on it. Got a couple of burrs to take off, but I'll do that in a second. I just want to double check. This, it should just literally... Oh, it does too. Yeah, lovely. Right. Now, as always, guys, file with a handle on it. Just going to take the burrs off here and here. I know this is going to get turned away. We've got to get this down to size up, but hey, you don't want the burrs on there. It's always nice to take them off. Here goes. There we go, guys. That's the 2 registers done. This is the right, left one's on the bench. I'll take this out, we'll get on the bench, and I'll talk you through the next bit. All right, back in a tick, guys. Righto, guys, here we are. You can see both embryo rear cylinder covers on their respective cylinders. So what we're going to do, here's the split ring that we made earlier for the rear cylinder, front cylinder cover. So we're going to now mount these in the chuck with the split ring, which is a nice fit on there. So we're holding it nice and secure. As I say, it's pretty much a collet, almost. Yeah. We're then going to have to turn this collar down to the same diameter as these. As you can see, there is about a 4 or 5 mil difference in size. So I'll see if I can get you a better view of that, actually. That's better. There you go. So you can see there is a significant bit to come off. There we go. Yeah. So about 4 or 5 mils off the diameter to get it down to 69, same as these. We then have to drill through, ream that hole, and then we need to bore it out for the other half of the stuffing box, the gland that goes in. We have a little cast iron piece to do, which fits in there, which then pushes in on the PTFE seal, the gland itself. That calls for a 16 mil, so 10 mil through and reamed. We're then going to do a drill, and then we're going to start, maybe even the 10 would do. I've got a small boring bar. We're going to bore it out to 16, and we'll make the second half of the stuffing box fit that. The drawing itself calls for a 16 millimeter reamer. I don't have a 16 millimeter reamer, so I'm going to bore it out as best I can. It's only a seal. I don't quite know why it needs to be reamed. Doesn't seem to make much sense. I suppose in a way it will help with any steam escaping, but hey, you just tighten up a bit more. Once we've got that bored, we're going to put a little scratch mark like we've done before. In fact, I'd better do that first before I lose my center, to give me the circle, which is the bottom of the slide bar support and all the way around the stuffing box itself, because then we have to get these into the mill, create the right distance for the slide bar support, and then put the shape on, which means a lot of this will get machined away. All right, guys, I'll get this one and that one into the lathe, and I'll bring you back when I get there. All right, guys, see you in a bit. Righto, guys, here we go. One more time. Right, so this is the left-hand one. I've got the split ring at the back. This is all tightened up. I've got this dimension there set from the little center pot we put in earlier. We're just going to put a scratch mark so we've got a line to work to later on when we do it back on the milling machine. And we're bringing this boss to the right shape for finishing off these rear cylinder covers. So I'm just going to put a scratch in like we did before for the front cylinder covers. Just one scratch this time, not 2. And when the lathe stops spinning, I'm going to drag the tool across because I need a center line as well. I'm not too sure I'm going to actually use it, but I'm going to put it there just in case. All right. So let's get this done. All right. There's my scratch. You can see that. So I'm just going to go back into contact, which is just there, and we're just going to hopefully leave a mark. Doesn't look like it did too much. Wind it in a little bit more then. That's better. It's leaving a scratch now. Through the middle, clump, 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 and over to there. Right. What now? Yes, right. I've got to set up for drilling, and drilling and reaming and boring. I'll bring you back in a tick. All right, guys. See you in a bit. Righto, guys. As you can see, drill chuck here with a center in it, small center. Gonna put a decent center in here. Then we're going to go 5.5 mil, 8 mil, 9.6 mil, and then we're going to go through with a nice little 10 millimeter machine reamer. We'll be dropping the speed down for the reaming, but at this moment in time, where we're at with the speed is perfect for what we need. All right, here goes, guys. Right, I'm just going to drop the speed down a little bit. So let's go down to, what's my options here? Let's go down to that one, about half the speed, because we're now getting into the bigger drills. There we go. That's all the drilling done. Get the reamer in. Up the speed down again. Let's have a look. We're on that one. 200. Let's go down to a B1. Nice and slow. Put the reamer in a little bit. Take it out. Pull it. Peck at it. Don't want to go forcing this through. So we end up with a nice round, smooth bore going all the way through. All right, so lock the tailstock down. Here we go. This should be, what, about 65 RPM, so not desperately fast. There we go. See how we go. Just taking my time. Got the chip brush at hand, so let's keep cleaning it out. Can't be far off now. Only got 20 mil to go through, of course. And through we go. There we go. Right, now. Let's have a look at that. Looks nice. Now, all being well, I can get to the material I'm going to be using for the piston rods, which I believe is that. Let's see if we can make it, see what kind of fit we've got. It should be really close. Yeah, right. This is the material I'm going to be using. 10mm stainless steel for the piston rods. That should, man, that's tight. Maybe a little bit of polishing required. Let me try from the other end. Okay, yeah, gonna have to do a bit of lapping on that, I think, bit of polishing. All right, okay, well, we get a start. Right, okay, guys, I'll set up for what's going to be next. We've got to bore this, and we've got to turn that down to size. We'll get this down to size first. All right, guys, back in a tick. Righto, guys, so just turn that down to 69mm, and taking the burrs off with the file with the handle on it, of course. So now I've got a 13mm drill, and we need to go in to a maximum depth of 15. So I'm just looking at my chart to convert the dials. So we need to go 6 turns on the hand wheel and 38 divisions. So I've dropped the speed down to about 550. I think that's what it says on here. Yeah, 550. So that should be a bit more suitable for this drill. If not, I'll drop the speed down again. Tailstock is locked down. So here goes. Let's get this done. What did I say? 6 and 38. Yep, here we go. there we go. Let's have a look. Looks about right. Yep. And we've got to bore that now out to 16 mil. So give me a second, I'll reset the lathe and I'll bring it back. Right guys, so we've got the boring tool in place. Just adjust the speed. One. Get back up to 700. That'll do us, I think. Feels about right. Oh yeah, all right, let's just test that. Hang on, A3. Wrong number. Right, there we go. Beautiful. Right, so tool in, move it that way, touch off, take a cut. We've got to go down 14 now, and then we'll measure up and we'll take a couple of cuts, and then I'll measure up and we've got to get to 16 and with the best surface we can. Okay, here goes, guys. There's touch off. Just put on a little cut, and in we go. That's 13. That's 14. Right. Clean that off. Put on another one, another cut. Back we go. Thirteen. 14. Righto guys, you get the idea. When I get this up to 16, I'll bring you back. Righto guys, so this should make the last cut now. Going to bring this up to 16 mil. So it's only a little cut, about 0.1. So just going to be taking off dust. When I reach the bottom of the hole, I'll move the tool that way and back out, so we're not dragging on the way back out. Okay, here goes. Right, let's see where we're at. What's the finish like anyway? Well, that's good. That's lovely. Yep, there we go. So we should be very close to 16. So let's have a look, see. I feel about right. Yep. And we are, if I can get this to focus for you, 15, 16 on the knocker. That'll do us, guys. Right. That's this one done. Is that? Yeah, this one done now till we get this one on the mill. So I'll get the right hand one up to the same spot, and I'll see you back over there on the mill. All right, guys. See you in a little while. Righto, guys. So I've got both the left and right to the same stage. This is the left-hand one in the rotary table now. So I've set this line that I scribed at a right angle to the body of the mill. I just put a big square against the slides at the back, lined up the blade, tightened up the jaws on here. I'll then put the 12.7 inch carbide end mill back in the machine. That's what you can see there. I've touched off, so I've got my 0. What we're going to do is we're going to create a flat up here. And that flat is 11 deep. This is 12, so we have to actually leave a millimeter of this whole circle at the end. So, as I say, I've set my zeros, and it's just a case now of raise the table, backwards and forwards, make a cut. Raise the table, backwards and forwards, make a cut. So I'll record a couple of these with you, and I'm going to take it lightly, 0.2, 0.3 cuts. I'm not in any rush. Last thing I need is this to jump out of there, although I've got it tightened down fairly well. Right, let's get this flat done, and at least the first couple of cuts, and I'll get back to you when I get it finished. So here goes. Gonna get noisy, guys. Right, that's my 0. That's 0.3 of a millimeter. Let's see how this responds. That's cutting nicely. Let's try a bit bigger cut. This is 0.4. Hello guys, yeah, that's producing a lovely finish. So I'm going to go off camera now, get this to 11, and when I get there, I'll bring you back, because then we've got to start working out the angles that we've got to mill from the scribed circle we've got there to meet up with this. It's not dead square, it's at a funny angle. But I'll talk you through that when I get there. So give me a few minutes, guys, I'll be back. Okay guys, that was a minute's work. There's the flat we've milled. Here's the millimeter we've got to leave behind. It'll stay all the way when we start shaping this boss. Hopefully you can see that because I've left a beautiful finish. That you can see a reflection of my finger. No, you can't from that side of it. You can from here. You can just kind of see the reflection. Beautiful finish. Right, now we've just got to work out the right angles to set the rotary table to on here. You could do it by filing, I suppose, but hey, I've got a machine and a rotary table, so I'm going to use those. All right, guys, give me a minute to find that information. Check the drawing. So we're going to shape this, round that bit off, and we've got 2 holes to drill to mount the stuffing gland, the front part of the stuffing gland, and then we've got all the holes to drill the same as the rear. I do believe it's 12 spacings, but only 11 holes because this hole doesn't get used, and that one will be a dummy, of course. So there's still the usual 5 bolt holes each side. Nothing here, and a dummy in the bottom. All right, guys, give me a minute to find the information and I'll be back. Righto, guys, so now we've got that cut. I've reset. What I did is I brought the tool back to the zeros in the middle. I then took it across. Somebody on the Wombat Facebook group worked out the angles and everything. So I've taken it across 13.75 mil from the center. Plus half the diameter of this, which is, of course, is 6.35 to 12.7 mil cutter, ½ inch. So I've gone across 20.1. I then took the rotary table to 23.96 degrees, so 24, close enough. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just move the whole thing this way, get the cutter down. I've already touched off. You can probably see the little scratch mark there, so I know where my 0 is. Again, just maybe take ½ mil just to double check things. The only important thing of making these shapes on here, I mean, you could leave it as it is. It wouldn't make a hoot. At this moment in time, the only important dimension is that when we've finished, we have a flat here that is roughly 14 millimeters wide, because of course we have a 12 millimeter slide bar, which the crosshead goes up and down on. And that just needs to have enough space there for that to land on. So 14 is the final number we're looking at. So hopefully I'll be able to take a couple of cuts and have a bit of a measure up. But this flat at the moment is 27.5, give or take. 14 from that would give us what, about 14 mil. So hopefully this is going to take off just about 7 mil of that flat at the end, and it'll give us a nice centered flat for the slide bar to ride on. Right guys, so I'm going to power up the mill. It's going to get noisy. I'm going to move the table that away so it's out the way, raise the table up by about 0.5 mil, and we'll take the first couple of cuts and have a look, see what it looks like. Give us a second guys, here you go. It's going to get noisy. That's the cut on. Now on the power feed. And go a little faster. Right. Let's come back at that. Go a little faster. Put on the next cut, another 0.5 mil. Let's stop all that, make it a bit quieter in the workshop. Right, let's have a little bit of a clean up, and that looks pretty good actually. Right, let's have a quick measure. So we were at 27.5, give or take. This should be down there to about 20, maybe even 20.5. Right, let's have a look at that. Right, that tells me 22. Well, I'm not worried about that. If that's what we're going to come out at, just means that flat's going to be a bit wider, and I don't mind that. That's great. Okay. Right, now, I'm going to finish this off camera. We've got to go down 11, so we match up. You can't see my hands in the way. So we match up with that flat there. All right, guys. I'll bring you back in a tick when I get this one done, and then we've got to reset the table, put the other angle on, and go from the other side. All right, yeah, see you in a bit. Right, guys, as you can see, that's been cut. Now, clean up a bit. There we go. Right, so I've brought the table back to center, moved it across 13.75 plus the 635 for the half of the cutter, so 20.1 this side of the center line now. And now we're just going to repeat that cut over this side, which will bring that surface down to whatever it's going to end up at. But the important thing, as I say, is that eventually we'll be centering a hole in there to add a bolt for the slide bar. Right, so you've seen me doing this. You saw me do it on that side. I'll tell you what, let's just do one cut together so you can actually see this thing. Actually, I'm on the wrong side of that, aren't I? I'm going to be climb milling if I'm not careful, and I don't like climb milling. I'm going to conventional mill. So, let me just move to the other side. Are you still in view? Yes, you're still in camera. Right, let's put on the cut. 0.5 of a mil. There we go. And, yep, that'll do. And let's get this fired up again. Here goes. Put on another cut. There we go. Right, let's just see if this person's calculations were right. According to the drawing they used on the Facebook site, Facebook page for the Wombat, that should be 14. Right? I'll tell you this much, it's anything but I'm not worried about that. As I say, this boss could be any shape you wanted it to be. It could be hexagonal. We're actually looking at about 17, which is good. It's going to have a 12mm slide bar put on it. And have a look at that. Yeah, just under 17, 16.56, 16.65, something like that. Right, let me get this cut finished. Ooh, we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, and I'll bring you back. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, guys, quick update before I reset the machine. There we are, second angle is cut. So I'm going to reset the machine now, get us back to 0 zeros here, zeros on the rotary table itself. Because now we have to start taking away this amount of cast iron down to that scratch mark that we put on while it was in the lathe. That's just a rough working guide. We'll let the DRO work it out. We know that this is, well, it was 45. It's now, of course, 22.5 radius because the other end is missing. And we know that this is a 30 circle, so 15 radius. So we've got this bit to take off, which should be in the region of 7.5mm. And again, we go down to 11mm, not 12. This is the surface at 12, that's the surface at 11. So I'm probably going to set this to take off about 3mm at a time and go down, and then I'll come back across, make sure we get to the right dimension of 15 radius, and then do exactly the same. So down twice. I'm not going to take off 7.5mm in one go. No, I'm not. That's I'm going to chicken out on that one. Right, so let me reset, and of course, as the milling cutter goes that way around, we'll always be coming back to this side and taking the rotary table that way so that the two work together. This is known as conventional milling, not climb milling. Climb milling would have the cutter coming into the in the other direction, but in the work going in the other direction. So the cutter still rotates in the same direction, but the work would go in the other. All right, let me reset and I'll bring you back, guys. See you in a bit. Right, guys, now I know you can't see too much at the moment, but what I've done is I've recentered the table, moved it out the right direction here, so I'm going to take off 3.75mm of the boss in this cut, and I've put on a depth of cut. So the table itself is locked down, the knee is the traverse that way is locked down, and all that happens now is I'm going to just, you can see I'm just cranking the handle, and we're going to let the cutter go around on the rotary table till we hit the other side. Then I'll wind it back, put on the next depth of cut, next cut. So let me just get that out of the way so I don't bang my knees on it. There we go. Let's get this cut done, and then you can see what I'm doing. Yep, here goes. Going to get noisy. Yep, here we go. All right, wind it back. I don't want to be climb milling, I want to be conventional milling. And we are clear. Put on the next cut. There we go, and round we go again. Lovely. All right, guys, you can see that that's producing a lovely cut. So I'm going to do this one, then move it into, we get the right 15 radius from the center. So that would have been a boss of 30, but a radius of 15. And when I get this cut done and that cut done, I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, see you in a bit. Righto, guys, and now this will be the last cut, down to 11 millimeters in depth. There we go, guys, that's a little quieter. Let me drop the table down a bit more. You still in view? Yes, you are. Right. There we go. I'll move this along as well. Get you out of the way. So, clean up this bit anyway, this side. There we are, guys. All nicely machined down. Right. What's next? Well, we're going to drill and tap 2 holes here to hold in the packing gland, and then we have the 11 holes to put in the flange. So, give me a couple of minutes to reset, and I'll bring you back. Righto, guys. So, quick reset. Drill chuck in, Allen cutter away. We need to drill and tap a 3mm hole here and a 3mm hole there. Now it makes sense why I put the scratch on there, and I was able to use the structure of the mill and a square to get that line going across, because I was able to set the 0 degree marker here on the rotary table. So I've now got this hole to do, and then I've got the option I can either move the table 22, because it's 11 off center, so 11 this side, 11 that side, or I can just rotate the table around 180 and use the exact same setting where it is now, which is, yeah, personal choice, I suppose. I don't know. Right, so quick center, drill 2.5, which is the tapping size for M3. I'll get my tapping compound when we get near enough, and the small tapping wrench, and we'll get this hole put in. Here goes. Just lower the table a little bit. Can you still see? Yes, you can. I'll get the 2.5mm drill into place. Need to go down a little bit more. Okay. Now, the drawing says tap 3mm by 10 deep, so that means we're going to have to drill probably 15 deep, just to give us a bit of space. So let's just have a quick look where we are. Set the collar on the downward quill. There we go. Right, so here goes. That's now 13, 14, 15. There we go. Right. And I'll change this out for the 3mm tap, the M3. Put that in place now. And we'll tap that down as far as it will go. It's no fun tapping blind holes. Especially when you've got lots of material to go into. So I'll just reset the speed on the mill. There we go. Just grab the tapping compound. I know it's cast iron, you probably don't need it, but I like to use it. Give that a stir. There we go. Just need a little bit on there. There we go. That will do us. And here we go again, just to get this going, just to get it enough to get it started, and then we'll release the chuck, drop the table, get the tap wrench on it, and do it by hand. Unless it goes very easily, but I don't think so. Here goes. Well, that is actually going fairly easy, but I'm still going to stop it now. Let's turn off the noise. Let's release the chuck. There we go. Right, lower the table down a bit more. As far as that goes, actually. Bugger. Right, okay, I wonder if I can get that tap wrench in that little bit of a gap without too much problem. Oh, yes I can, yes I can. Look at that. Right, glad I'm not using the big one. All right, so let's just get this tap till it bottoms out. Turning up, there we go. And then we can do the other one once we get this done. Must be getting down towards the bottom there. Oh yeah, there we go. You'll feel it in the tap wrench when you hit bottom. And you don't want to go forcing it. Believe it or not, yes you can snap 3mm of steel very easily. This is HSS, this tap. Yeah, I've taken it too far. I can't get that out. Wonderful. Right, let's take that back down a bit. Another turn. Yep, there we go. Right, let's take it out now by hand. It's coming, it's coming. Very, very fine thread. There we go. Right, let's have that cleaned up. Let's have a bit of a sweep around. I don't know about you guys, but I can. Let me raise that up a bit. Wonder if I can get. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can just about see there is a thread in there. Very nice. Right. Okay, guys, I'll get the other one done, and once again, I'll bring you back after that. Okay. See you in a bit. Righto, guys. So as you can see, those two holes have gone in nicely. 3mm. I've tried a bolt in them both. They're perfectly the holes. Nice. So now we're going to drill the holes in this flange for mounting it onto the cylinder block itself. Now the drawing shows 5 this side, at 5.5, 5 at that side at 5.5, but it doesn't show, but we know there's no dummy at the top because that's where the slide bar is going to go. But it doesn't show a dummy one down the bottom here, but I'm going to put one in because I look at the drawings and I can't see any reason why it's not there. And I think it's just for me, just to make it look nice. So I'm going to do this one first. So center, drill 4.2, tap M5, and then using, then it's just a case of center popping all those other holes, the 10, and then drill through at 5.5mm. Right, so I'll get this going. Oh, you've seen me do this. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll bring you back. Bring you back when I get this flange done and all 11 holes are in it. All right, guys, see you in a bit. Righto, guys, so that's 11 holes drilled, one with a thread in it for a dummy bolt, which I'm going to make now. And then this comes out of the rotary table. I get the right hand one, which is just in its blank form. So this is a comparison. I tell you what, let me zoom you out. Zoom you back in a bit. This is what we've got now with the boss shape and all the holes, the big holes, yeah, all flattened off. That's what we started with. So you can see there's quite a bit of metal gone off the boss here, and of course all the holes are drilled in it. Right, this one out, this one in. I'll get the right hand one up to the same stage, and then we've got one more little operation to do, but for that we just need to flip them over and mill in the little steam port relief that we did on the front cylinder covers. All right, guys, when I get the number 2, the right hand one, up to this stage, I'll bring you back. See you in a bit. Righto, guys, so now we're going to do the last operation for the moment on these rear cylinder covers. So this is the left hand one. It's resting, it's got that boss resting on the jaws because the jaws are almost closed, and when they were fully closed, of course, this didn't actually fit, it was loose, so I've had to cut some little bits of brass angle, which you can just see here, just to form some kind of soft packings and hold everything nice and tight. Right, so we're going to power up, start making a cut, do the 60-degree cut across here to form the steam relief in the top of this register, just so that the steam has a nice easy route into the cylinders itself. And I'll go until I've got about a 3mm, well, I've got the half cut, because this is the 6mm ball nose cutter again. Right, so of course, with the cutter going this way, the work goes that way. So we are conventional milling, not climb milling. So it's backward, it's take a cut, wind it back, put on the next cut, make that cut, go back. All right, so it's going to get a bit noisy, guys, but I'll do one or two with you. So you've seen this. Look, I'll do one, then I'll get them both up to this point, and then I'll bring you back on the bench, and 2 more parts are done. All right, guys, here goes. So let's get this running. Starting to cut, raise the table up to the correct height, and which way we've got to go? We've got to go towards me. Yep, that's the right way to go. It's 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, and 60 degrees. Wind it back all the way. Put on the next cut. That will do it. Just go slow and steady. And come around to the 60-degree mark on the rotary table. That is 60 degrees. Wind it back. There we go. Righto, guys, I'll get this done and the right hand one, and I'll bring you back on the bench. All right, guys, see you in a bit. Righto, guys, there we go. A few minutes further. Left and right rear cylinder covers. As you can see, there's the steam relief in the both of them there. Didn't take long. The addition of the rotary table to the mill's been a great asset making these. It would have been, I could have used the DRO. I mean, hey, you could have even just marked them out and centre popped them. I mean, what matters is when they go onto here and there, is that these holes all line up so that everything stays nice and square on the cylinder blocks themselves. On that point, we actually still need to drill and tap a 6mm hole in here. Now, I've got no real way at the moment of actually holding that. Yes, you could put a level on that and work it all out, but the easy option is to put the holes in here first, and then before we start shaping the blocks off, bolt that on, make sure it's right, clamp the whole thing in the vise, and guess what? I've got access to that flat surface just there, and be able to drill and tap that once we've got this bolted onto the cylinder block, and the same on this side, of course. Right, guys, couple of seconds to reset. We'll bring this video to a close. Righto, guys, that brings today's video to a close. The two rear cylinder covers, really happy with those. A little bit more involved than the front ones, as you saw. Two more bits down. Wonderful. I can't believe it. We're really motoring there. All the good things. Righto, guys. So I'll bring this video to a close by saying, like I normally do, if you can find it in your heart and soul, to give me a like and a subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. If you're a watcher, if you've got this far, this is a video of over an hour. If you've got this far, you should be a subscriber because you'll get the notifications. Hit that bell. You'll get the notifications for when the next video comes out, which of course, as you probably all know now, is every second Sunday here in South Australia at 12 noon. All right, guys, that's it for today. This is the chef saying, see you later.